Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's daily Bible reading. Please like and share this video and join us every day at 10 a.m. Today's Bible reading comes from Genesis chapter 41 and verse 1. And it comes to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh demanded, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fatfleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favoured and leanfleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favoured and leanfleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favoured and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed a second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the 7 of the ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And the Pharaoh awake, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men therefore, and Pharaoh told them his dream. But there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto the Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain's guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, and I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interruption of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, a Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hung. The Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favoured, and they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favoured and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favoured kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine, and when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favoured as at the beginning. So I awoke. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full of good, and behold, 7 ears withered thin, and blasted with east wind, sprung after them, and thine ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told them unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto the Pharaoh, The dream of the Pharaoh is one. God hath showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favoured kine that come up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty years blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he show unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt into 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be stored to the land against 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And that the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, For so much as God hath shown thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it on Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. And he made him ride in the 2nd chariot which he had, and they cried before him, Bow the knee, and he made ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphenath, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar's priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up the food of 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food of the field which was round about, even every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of the famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar's priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God, and said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended, and the 7 years of dearth began to come, according to Joseph had said. And dearth was in all the lands, but in the land of Egypt there was bread. And when the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried unto Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses, and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt, and all the countries came into Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because all the famine was sore in all lands. So thank you for joining us today on our daily Bible reading. Check back tomorrow at 10 a.m. And don't forget to like and share this video. Have a great day.